Hey, welcome to YOLO with ToLo. I'm Lonnell Williams coming to you from my office in Atlanta. Today we are talking about identifying your passion. Let me see if I can get my little co-host on here, Twan. Let's see. Where are you? How are you guys doing out there today? We're going to try this one more time. Hopefully we don't get this echo that we've been having with this problem whenever you add a guest on to the Facebook platform, the chat. It just seems to be you start to get this audio echo, so it just wears us out. So we appreciate your patience and tolerance through this challenge that's been going on way too long, Facebook. Wait, I thought I was adding him in here. Hang on, sorry, let me add him in here. Sorry, I'm over here rambling. Okay, it looks like he's coming in to join us.
Hey, Lonnell.
Hey, how are you?
It works. How are you?
I'm fine. So
The
maybe
audio
I
works
need
now?
to initiate. I don't know. I'm great. I'm at
whatever.
home.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste. Cheers. Cheers from San Francisco. Hey, Joe.
Cheers.
I know you warmer, Joe, in Florida than we are here in Atlanta and San Francisco.
Hey,
Welcome
Rich.
to YOLO with ToLo. Hey, Rich. I cannot believe episode 41 already. This week we're talking about finding your passion, which ultimately leads to joy.
I'm looking for it.
I think we both are doing all right, and your passion can change, and that's all good. So today we are lucky enough to have two producers on. Dee from LA will be chiming in. She's keeping our time today, and Kevin is also producing. Hey, Ann from LA. If you guys are watching wherever you're at, feel free to chime in and let us know with questions on our topic today is finding your passion, and let us know where you're at down there in case you aren't where we think you are. So we're back home after both of us have been traveling a lot already this year. Can you believe it's already March?
It is March. I'm like, oh my goodness, I still got a lot to do, and I've done a lot, but I'm like, oh, I still got a lot to do. The year started off with a bang, so I'm just like, okay, I need to stay in this flow, this energetic vibration. But I have some time off right now, so I've been home. I was gonna go on vacation, and then I think I told you last week a friend of mine passed away, so I was dealing with some of that stuff. So now just kind of just sitting tight. I might actually take a small trip to the West Coast for a few days or something like that. I don't know what I'm doing.
Come visit me. I'm here for a bit. I'm here this month. I'm here this month.
Good. Yay. Maybe we can do that. So I don't know what I'm going to do in my life. Besides,
that'd be awesome. Maybe we could do a couple of lives. Okay.
Yes.
So yeah, last show, if you guys were watching, Lonnell spoke about your friend's sudden death, and it's really crazy because in terms of segment one, our hot topics this week. One of the big hot topics this week that I woke up to, and I didn't watch a ton of TV when I was a kid, but I did watch 90210, and Luke Perry's death really kind of shocked a lot of people. Not only our age, but with the whole the new show with the Riverdale and with now the reboot of 90210. We just heard about there's going to be a reboot, and then all of a sudden he had a stroke and then struggled in the hospital apparently, and then he passed away.
Right. I was completely shocked. My girlfriend Shauna, who from California, texted me that morning. She said, she told me Luke Perry. I was like, girl, what? So of course I'm like, I get online trying to see what I can find out, and I was like, I understand there's divine purpose in everything, but I was like, wait, well, this is still way too soon. What's happening? Yeah. I'm sure there are elements to the story that we don't know in the public, and that's fine. I feel that the family has a right to their privacy. But it was just such a shock because I used to love that show. Love that show.
Dylan Okar. It's crazy because if you think about it too, it's like he's 52, and I'm 40, and you're a little 50. Older.
I'm 50. I own it. I'm
I know, right? Like fine wine and cheese, honey. I feel like it gets better every decade if you're really mindful about it. And I don't mean better as in like, what other people in society thinks is better or what's on your social stream, but it's like how you're feeling, how you're living. the connections that you have with people and the world around you, right? But I was just thinking, like, gosh, if we only have, like, say you live to 80 or, you know, God bless us to 100, then like half of our life is over. So I'm even more mindful now of like, okay, so what growing up, what was my passion, what it was my prayer, and I'm living that now, and we have to be reminded of that. What we have now is what we intended in our hearts, we put out there for a lot of us seekers out there. And how am I going to live my life? How am I going to make the world a better place? And, you know, what's interesting is that this has been a big conversation that I've had with a lot of people recently. So I'm excited to get into that in the next segment and dump the hump. But so tell me, like, what do you make of like the Luke Perry sudden, you know, passing, and, you know, with your friend sudden passing?
It's just another reminder that every day, tomorrow's not promised. I just saw somebody pass away in the gym this week when I was there. I didn't tell you about that, but yes.
No.
I'm literally on the treadmill, and someone goes into cardiac arrest on the other end of the bed. I wasn't aware of what happened until the staff started running upstairs, and I was like, oh my gosh, no, well, how can I help? What can I do? But I'm like, besides get in the way. And then shortly after that, paramedics came racing up there, but by that time they weren't doing any CPR or anything. They just took the person out in a sheet kind of thing and took them downstairs.
Whoa,
and
white sheet.
put them in the ambulance. But it was, and then the ambulance just stood there for like 15 minutes. I mean, it was another reminder. It's like, listen, I don't know if I'm gonna make it through the night. You know, I don't know when my time is. So I better live this day in this moment like it's the last, because it very well could be. So it's just another reminder that, and I still believe death is transition. I just don't believe that in this infinite universe,
I sit here. I agree.
I'm just here for this little blip of time. But before I transition into whatever's next, I want to make sure that I live and serve my purpose while I'm here each day. And so it just reminded me that it's critical. You just got to really think about that.
Yeah, I'm reading Sheryl Sandberg's book, Option B, right now, and her husband died in a similar fashion, right? He was on the treadmill, they were on vacation, he fell.
And an alert just came over my phone saying that Alex Trebek from Jeopardy has stage 4 cancer.
Yeah, Kevin just said that as we were hitting the light button here. Yeah, right?
So it's a lot of transition going on. It's just a whole vibrational shift going on. The chaos in our politics and in, you know, the appearance of divisiveness, all of that. It's just a huge spiritual, energetic shift, and I think that you just need to be aware of it and your place in it.
I think exactly what you're saying, I agree with, because I think that, I know that anytime this stuff drops, this news drops, whether it's personal or in the celebrity world or whatever, it's a moment for us to really like be, you know, to either have a shift or continue status quo until it happens and you're not really kind of, being awakened by it. Denise, I love what you say here. She says, life, quote, intermission is over. Make the most of the closing act. And while that may seem like morose or like depressing, I don't know. I don't see, I know that physically I see, like when death happens, we hurt, I think, equally to how much we love the person. But I don't see death as also a bad thing, because I don't know, spiritually also, I believe what you believe is that we transition into that next thing that we're supposed to go through.
Right.
You know? And Rich says, yes, waking up is a reason to be grateful.
A reason to be grateful. And realizing where you are in the journey. Another gym story that I had, this happened to me today. I was on the elliptical, and there's this guy, he's probably in his mid-30s. His body is like, whoa. And then there's the older guy who's probably in his 60s or whatever. And he was still very much in shape. But I had this realization, like, child, you are much closer to that than you are to that. So it's like, okay. It's like, ooh, okay. So, and again, another reminder. I was like, get in here. Because, if you need any motivation to stay alert, stay current, stay healthy, it was like, oh, yeah, those days have long passed you. Those are not too far away from you, should you, God willing, you live long enough. So it's just this constant reminder that nothing is finite. This is all transitional and temporary. Every moment is just that. It's just the moment. and
yeah,
you are constantly progressing in the journey. So you better learn to appreciate and to live it to the best and the fullest that you can.
yeah. Amen. Cha-ching. Cheers. And if you don't learn the lesson now, it's while you're alive, it's gonna come back in a different
It's gonna
way,
come back and
shape,
get you.
form,
So,
person, situation. It's gonna keep coming again.
until you
know?
get it. So
Yeah.
I'm just getting it.
Okay. Speaking of getting it, a lot of people are talking about two sort of interrelated pieces of news, issues that are going on in the world. But, you know, I know you saw a lot of the clips. CBS has not released the whole full R. Kelly interview with Gayle King yet. But, whoa, the clips were explosive, right? And they're releasing it in China. Yeah. And you know, what's interesting is I was watching and I was zooming out, literally, I felt like I was out of her body watching myself watching this. And I was just thinking, gosh, like, here's a man unraveling. Guilty or not, I'm not going to speculate. I'm not even going to go there. But it's just like, wow, there's a spectacle happening with this soul. And like, just as quickly as people will, you know, rise, when you rise to fame, people will be there to applaud you. They'll be there to just also knock you down, you know, and just to watch that whole spectacle. And then one thing I do have to say, I saw a tweet from Oprah that says, bravo, Gayle, for like focusing and handling it well. And as somebody that is a trained journalist, and that has interviewed people that have acted out, if you will, to be able to like sit there and not even flinch and then handle it the way she handled it. I mean, like, kudos to that. But
she was totally unbothered. I loved it.
Yeah, right? She was like, and then he was like literally like swinging his arms and hands and whatnot. But this is what I got to say. And, you know, I do media training. I've been traveling once a month to teach nonprofits how to tell the story to the media and deal with crisis situations with a team of people with the Asian American Journalists Association. Well, that's a lot of words. And, you know, what we teach people too is that when you fly off the handle like that and lose your cool, or if you just say nothing at all, then it makes you look guilty, boo, whether you're guilty or not.
It was
you know
entirely
what I mean?
too offensive. And when he said, I beat my case, that was like, okay, so you beat the legal system, but that doesn't mean we're not guilty. No, I wouldn't say I beat my case. I would say, I was proven not guilty because I'm not guilty. But that's probably highly unlikely. But again, what is the bigger purpose and the bigger picture of all of this? You know, this man has been allegedly doing this for decades. And, you know, and so now, finally there, if these things have happened, I'm glad these women are getting their voices are finally being taken seriously. And if it means, this should have been done decades ago. This should have been done way long ago. But okay, so we're here now. And he's been coasting. So he's probably thought he was invincible. And in his head, he probably is like the president. He has his own reality going on in his head. So he probably doesn't think that, that this should be happening the way that it is. I don't know who would advise him to go do this interview. He should have just stayed quiet.
Exactly. From a PR.
Thank you for the great television.
Thank you for the ratings. But seriously, I was watching and I was like, wow, what a PR mess. And it was going to be a PR mess. And if you're repping him and you know that he has that type of temperament or that short fuse, then, it's just literally like a bomb waiting to like explode, which it actually did, and I think the sad part of this, I mean, aside from celebrity smut and all that stuff aside, is that this, I'm sure is creating a lot of trauma for people who have suffered any sort of abuse, right? On the positive side, I really believe that it's great to get stuff out there in the open.
Right. And people are talking about this now, right?
Yeah, people are talking about it.
The issue, not just this specific
issue.
case.
Yeah, the issue.
But whether it's happening, because it's happening everywhere. It's happening at church. It's happening in schools. It's happening on sports teams. It's happening everywhere, as it has been from the beginning of time. But at least now, people don't have to, victims especially don't have to feel isolated or like they're the only ones. And now there's a public forum and a public space where your voice can be taken seriously. So I think that if there's a good thing to come out of any of this, I think that's the main thing, that we can give the victims some of their power back. But this crap has been going on. And like Oprah Winfrey said about Michael Jackson and her after Neverland, she said this transcends, Michael Jackson. It's the larger issue. And I definitely do agree with that. So if there is anything good about it, at least these voices of these victims are being heard and taken seriously for once.
Yeah, right. And it also, I believe that when people are watching this and it's out there in the world, in the news and your Twitter feeds and whatnot, then it also makes you, if you are going through it, it makes you feel like you're not alone. Right. One, and even depending on the situation too, that there is some sort of hope. There are places that you can go to for help. There are people that are listening. So I really hope that some way or another, you know, that this, Oprah's right, this transcends Michael Jackson. It really, and I can say that it transcends this whole R. Kelly debacle. But I just hope that, you know, we will find our own ways to heal.
Do you think that people should stop listening to his music? Or are you, see, I'm the type of person who I can separate the art from the person. You know, that's a big thing too. Like they want to, I bought all these Michael Jackson records. You think I'm gonna stop playing them? No, this music has been the soundtrack of my life. I'm not just gonna change it because of what is alleged. Just like I can separate, you know, I can separate the music. And I know this is a lot of people disagree, but I can separate the music from the person. Just like I can separate the fact that Thomas Jefferson was the founding father of this country and also a pedophile. Yeah. I can expect the fact that Elvis Presley was a talented musician and also had some crap that he was, you know, accused of or dealing with. So I just the same, you know, we pick and choose who we can separate, but we do that all the time with everyone.
That's just such a personal question, though, right? Yeah. And it's just like when the whole Clinton and Monica Lewinsky thing happened with Bill Clinton. It's like people are like, well, I can separate him being the president of the United States versus like his personal life. And so I could see, I'm going to play devil's advocate with you real quick. I could see people saying, well, no, then you're supporting them by doing that, right? By listening to their music. What would you say about that?
I've already paid for this music. I'm not necessarily, this is my property now. So now I respect your fact, you know, that I understand you don't want to continue creating a revenue stream for this particular individual, but I buy music and it's mine now. And it's been, you know, it's carried me all this way. Now, if they put out something new, would I necessarily support it? Yeah, maybe not. But stuff that I've already purchased and support, no, child, I'm not going to stop playing that because you're mad. I mean,
it's such a personal thing, right?
I will respect someone else's right, like if they don't want to necessarily hear that. But if I'm going to be honest, I'm still going to be working out to the remix of Ignition. I just am. So
you know what? Like, I mean, like you're right. I mean, Michael Jackson's music has been the soundtrack of a lot of our lives. I mean, like I remember being a little boy listening to Thriller and watching the MTV, you know, like the video drop on MTV, the music video, you know. And I remember moments in my life based on that music as well. I really think, honestly, it's your business and it's your money. You know what I mean? Like whether you listen to it or not is none of my business.
Thank you.
Just like with kids, I can think all I want of how you raise your kids, but you know, it's none of my business. It's your child. Obviously, unless you're hurting them and you know, in some way, then you can get them help. But ain't none of my business, right? I don't know. People are all up in people's business too much, and social media does not help with that.
Does not help. It just fans the flames.
Right. Okay, so let's jump on to the next topic, dump the hump. So you and I have talked about this a lot. Kevin and I have talked about this a lot. And today I got 2 SOS calls from 2 friends who have, you know, have had their first career. They have loving husbands. One of them has 2 kids. The other one has no kids. They both have homes and travel and have money and all of that. Fat resumes, everything. But they both are going through some sort of existential crisis. And what it really boiled down to also is that they were like, you know, I don't have this like joy. And one of them even said that she was depressed, you know, and so not wanting to get out of bed. And so they were kind of like asking me for some advice to that. And with me knowing their full situation of like their lives are pretty great. I mean, obviously all of us have issues, but what I was able to break down the lowest common denominator was that both of them had mentioned like, I still don't find that I still don't know what that passion is, that thing that that I'm excited about. Obviously, my friend with the kids gets up for the kids, but the whole finding your passion and Oprah says passion leads to purpose. And I really believe that. But I really believe that if you really think about this kind of as something that is interconnected, I believe that joy is found in helping others. It's not about me, you, us all the time. Because if you look at Anthony Bourdain, which a lot of people think he had the best life ever, traveled a lot, famous, ate a lot of good food, right? Had his own show, made a lot of money, right? Successful, if you will, in society standards. Then, why did he commit suicide? And just around that time, Kate Spade sold her company for over $2 billion, committed suicide, so it's,
yeah, you have to be. Did I just lose you? Can anyone hear me? There you are. There you are. Okay, we're freezing up.
Yeah, sorry. I hit it wrong, but it's okay. So
yeah, it's.
So the question that I had, though, was in terms of finding your passion, because I know you and I mentor a lot of people. In terms of finding your passion, what kind of advice would you give to the younger people watching?
First of all, what do you like to do? And what do you like to do so much that you would do it for free? Because you may have to start out doing it that way. Chances are you probably will have to start out doing it that way.
Yeah.
But what are the things that something's got to drive you? You've got some type of purpose in this life. And you can discover that once you get out of your head and out of the expectations that others have placed on you and what your life should be and where you should be at this particular point in your journey. Doing what you're passionate about may not bring money initially, but if you keep doing it, you'll find a way. The money will find its way to you. You just have to bet on yourself and believe in yourself. Mm. And so, yeah, okay, I've got responsibilities. I've got kids. I've got family. I've got a home. I've got a mortgage. You've created all these things, but you're not happy. So you have to really find what's going to drive and fuel your joy. And it may mean downsizing your life materialistically, mm-hmm. You may have to make those changes and adjustments, but you've got to find something that you'd be willing to do for free, that you could just wake up. That's something that excites you every day. And it doesn't have to be some big grandiose thing. Some people, I was talking to a lady who actually cleaned. She was a housekeeper at the hotel that I stayed in recently, and I just happened to be in the room whatever she came, and we just started talking. And she was saying that she really, and I just didn't understand it, but she said she really likes restoring order. She likes cleaning, and she just making things cleansed and clean and pretty, and when someone else walks into the room, how much they like it. And I was like, wow. Now you wouldn't think that someone would even like a job like that, because most people be like, I don't want to clean no sheets in no hotel. But this woman actually, that was her passion. She said restoring order and making things, just cleaning things up. And I just thought, wow. But that's something. It could be something, and that's not even simple, because Lord, God bless her. I am grateful to all the housekeepers. But you've got to find something, whatever it is, that you truly enjoy doing. And something that you do for free. And it's out there. And you may not see a way to make money from it initially, but just try to squeeze a moment or two of it in your day.
Yeah, absolutely. And I to piggyback off of that, I 1,000% agree. I think that what people gotta do is think about, aside from thinking about what would you do for free, but what excites you out of bed the next day. Like what excites you? Like literally, like you would jump out of bed and want to do it for free.
Right.
And what are the things that you're naturally good at and inclined at and talented at? And that's part of your power, whether it's reading, writing, mathematics, or whatever. And how do you use that in service of others and give that, to others? And I think that is the key. And the last thing you said was you need to just do it. Just get out there and do it, whether it's just a little bit a day, a little bit a month, and just do it. And you'll see how things show up. Right. I mean, we talked about, you can vision board, you could do gratitude journals, you could do all of that stuff. But the key to all that stuff is actually doing it.
You have to just do it. And again, you know, I don't have enough time. You know, but I'm sure just take the 5 minutes that you are spending each day worrying about what you can't do or what's happening. Just take those 5 minutes and refocus them into something that you enjoy doing, and
I
just
like
build
that.
on those 5 minutes. Because you are
I like
spending
that.
that time worrying and being frustrated. You're just
You,
not
so,
aware of how you're utilizing your time. But you
so
have
you're saying sort of repurpose that and
yeah,
that time and
absolutely
that
repurpose.
frustration, that energy. I love that. And I really believe that the root of all joy comes from service, of giving back. And I pulled this out in my bathroom because I have this framed in my bathroom because I love it so much. But this is in my bathroom. Every time I pee, I look at it. But this was given to me by one of you know, spiritual leaders locally in the area that I met at some networking event, and he said that he went to a speaking engagement where the Dalai Lama was speaking, and this is a quote from the 14th Dalai. It says the 14th Dalai Lama. Anyway, it says the true meaning of life. I'm gonna read it to you real quick. I love to read. I think I need to get back to reading the little kids. Anyway, so it says we are, quote, we are visitors on this planet. We are here for 90 or 100 years at the very most. During that period, we must try to do something good, something useful with our lives. If you contribute to other people's happiness, you will find the true goal, the true meaning of life. And that is really what this is all about, is finding your passion and purpose, is really just tapping into what you could do. You're using your power to help other people. And that is sustaining. You know, if you get a new car, you get a new house, guess what? After a while, it gets old and you're still stuck with the payments or whatever. But really, if you are giving, you just realize that the abundance all around us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, no matter how much or how little you have, because there's always going to be somebody with more or less than you have.
Absolutely, always. And you're always going to be looking at a glimpse or a sliver of what you think their life is. You're never going to see the entire picture. So you have to remember that that there's a lot going
especially
on.
Now with especially now with social media.
Right.
It's just like, it's insane, right?
Right.
It's just, you see these highlight reels of people, and it was funny because in our pre-production call, it was me, you, Dee, and Kevin. We're all talking about how people like saw our lives on social, and each and every one of them was totally off mark.
Right.
I mean, they were right a little bit, but they're like, "Oh, y'all travel a lot. You still in town?" Kevin's like, "Yeah, I've been in town a lot more than I've traveled." You know, and it's just so funny because, you know, you can't buy into what you see there, and you just have to be real with yourself and know that whatever life you're choosing, whatever passion you're doing or you're choosing to do, that it really resonates and makes you happy.
Right.
Kevin, thank you for posting that that quote there. But anyway, so you know, that's my 2 cents. Denise says it's a wrap. We got to get on to the next one, which is segment 3. Talk to ToLo. I love this. I've always loved this little. This was for free, by the way. AARP gave it to me. This was a post-it note. Anyway, okay, so both of our questions comes from my 2 friends whom I'm not going to mention, so I'm just going to say anonymous. But one of them from Germany says, Kevin, I see you throwing shade, trying to say, "You old twat." AARP. This is called graceful, not old. Anyway, so from anonymous question number 1 from Germany says, on the outside, it seemed to have it all. People say, great family, loving husband, we have money, we travel, blah, blah, blah. She has a home, she has a couple homes. She goes, why am I depressed? And, you know, how can I get myself out of that funk and find that passion, that thing that wants to get me out of bed, essentially, is the question.
Yeah, so wow. I think you just have to do some self-examination, first of all, to see how you ended up in this place in the first place. Because you're in this space through a lot of effort and a lot of work. But clearly none of that has been satisfying to you. Now you've achieved all these things that society says should make you happy, and you're still not happy. So you've got to do some introspection and to look and see, like, really, you know, what have I done that has not, because it clearly has not worked. It's manifested and created this wonderful lifestyle that others applaud, but on the inside, I'm still empty. So you have to find out what fuels the filling of that void. You've got to find something. And it may mean a huge adjustment to your life, in your lifestyle. But if it means that you're going to actually find your purpose, your passion, and your joy, it's worth it. It's just worth it. You've got to get to that place, and it's not easy, and you've got to be flexible because you're not going to have necessarily the same lifestyle. Things don't make you happy, so I don't know.
That's so true. And you know what, the thing too is that I see so many people that are always looking into the future. Anthony Robinson said it before. He was like, okay, we sold out the biggest arena, and then I was telling my team, what's the next one, even before he went out on stage. So what's the next bigger one? And I really think that we need to just pull back and zoom out a little bit and just be thankful and grateful for everything that we've had, because there's some magical thing about gratitude, and for real gratitude, not like, okay, I'm just going to post that I'm happy, and then or post that I'm grateful for having this talk with Lonell or somebody in my tribe, and then not really be happy. But I really think it comes down to really the more you're grateful. It's weird how, not weird, but it's just that's how the universal law works, is the abundance continues to flow, if you will. And it's just like when you're looking for a job and you're like and like stressed out, people can sense that stress, and things don't flow or come. But do you notice that most of the time, whether it's personal or professional, like you like that boo, somebody you're looking at over there, and all of a sudden you're kind of like, whatever, and then they come chasing you.
I'm chasing you, right?
Rich says, yes, we need to stop worrying about checking all the boxes.
Yes. Right. If you didn't create those boxes from your heart and from your place of passion, then no, you don't need to check them all.
Yeah.
Those are somebody else's boxes. That's somebody else's attempt to control and to tell you or to dictate your journey. Who does that?
Yes. That's really good.
No.
And and we've seen it kind of in our own lives, and we've seen it with other people's lives when they are not aligned with their boxes. Checking in.
I've done that in the past myself. I had a checklist of things to do, and but now my checklist is all from here. It's all from my heart. And I'm not really thinking about what other people are talking about. Yes, Fiona, self-love, baby. You got that right.
Yep. Okay. Yep. Self-love. Speaking of self-love, question number 2 piggybacks off of that. It's Anonymous from San Jose says, let me scroll this up real quick. It says, I know what I need to practice to get out of my head when I start thinking negative thoughts. Like, it is what it is, and be grateful for what I have. What other tips do you guys have about getting centered again when, like, literally she means like when you're in the center of this vortex of stuff that's happening?
Yeah, for me, sometimes I have to literally physically stop and pull on and detach myself from the situation. If it's, like you said, what you're worried about, and you know what you need to do. But sometimes when you're in the midst of that storm, you know what you're supposed to do, but your emotions or whatever, you're not feeling like, going to that place. But for me, sometimes I literally have to physically maybe step back from whatever it is and do some type of mantra or refocus myself. But it's not a one-time thing. It's constant work. You've always, whatever it is that you find that brings you back to the center, that's a constant thing. It's not just something that happens once or twice. It's all the time. So you've got to find something. But for me, it's usually physically detaching if I have to. And sometimes, I'll hear the voices in my head saying, no, you need to, this is talk yourself out of this or talk yourself through this. But a lot of times I'm not trying to hear that. Sometimes I'm so pissed off, I just want to sit rooted in my, pistivity, if you will. But
that's a tweetable tweet.
But I realize, at some point it's like, okay, you're allowed to feel this emotion, you're allowed to experience this, but Lonell, don't get stuck here. So I have to have that. I have to constantly have that conversation with myself. So it's work. And if you're aware and you know what to do, just keep doing it. If you know what to do to change your thoughts.
Yes, that's the thing that I love hearing you say, and I love this question, and I love that this person was aware enough to know that you are in that funk, and this too shall pass, one of my favorite Bible verses, right? And that, to go back to whatever that thing is, gratitude journals may not work for everybody. I know they work for a lot of people and myself. going out to nature might not help everybody. I think it helps a lot of people. Find that way, connect with a friend. And I think once you're in that, it's really important. One thing I've learned is to not just all push it away and ignore it and try to numb it with something. People do it with drugs or sex or whatever it is.
Right.
But it's okay to like feel that anger, feel that resentment for a quick minute or whatever, and let it sit. And then see, bye, Felicia, let it go. Right? Whichever way you can, right? And voila, it's like, I just think about everything that I've gone through in my life. And sometimes I feel like, oh my God, I don't know how I'm gonna get out of the situation. And guess what? It always turns out better. And I'm aware of what I've learned from it. So it doesn't happen again. And it will come back. If, again, like we said, Fiona says, it's okay to be where you are right now.
To be where you
That's
are
the hardest part.
Yes.
Eckhart Tolle says suffering is not wanting to be where you're at right now. Dee says, exactly, like we do not need to be in this segment no more because we need to talk about digital detox. She keeps it real. I love it. Okay, so I shared, Kevin, if you could post that article that actually Kevin shared with me, and I read it, and it's the New York Times article written by the New York Times tech writer, and he literally was like, I have a tech addiction, and he sought somebody to help him detach from that tech addiction. There's an actual like person with that job to help people detach from digitally detox, detach from their phones. So Kevin's gonna post that up. If you guys have a chance to read it, it's pretty brilliant. I mean, obviously, if you can't go up into the Catskills like you did for the weekend and get rid of his phone for 48 hours that way, you do you, boo. But you know, we and I have been talking about this a lot, and it seems like so many people have been talking about this. Like, I was in a few boutiques in New York with Fiona, and we were talking about the same topic with people here at the gym. You and I have been talking about it. But yeah, it's gotten to like epic proportions when you know that the tech writer for the New York Times is having tech addiction and issues.
Right.
Saying that he picks up his phone. He said on average people pick it up like 50 times a day. It's a lot, but he picks it up over 100 times a day.
Been there.
And if he has that issue, right?
Right.
For sure, a lot of us have that issue. And he writes about this stuff.
And like last week was a good week for me. Like my numbers were down as far as my screen time and interacting on the phone. And this week though, they're up. So it's constant work. It's constant. I'm not beating myself up because I'm not doing as well as I did last week. But yeah, it's a process. It's a constant challenge. I don't want to say it's a struggle, but it's a challenge.
It's an addiction. Do you say it's an addiction? I know it's an addiction.
It is an addiction.
I'm not addicted to, I don't think I'm addicted to anything. Well, maybe working out a little bit too much sometimes, but a lot of stuff I'm not addicted to. Like, I don't do drugs and drink, but I'm just like this one thing, picked up my phone. I don't know why. I'm just picking it up like this. And I'm like, wait, why did I do the swipe? Right. However, I have to say that I am proud of myself for realizing that when I'm picking it up, I am aware that I'm picking it up a lot of times now. Mm-hmm. So I will just put it back down, right? Kevin and I had lunch today, and I was just like, you know what? Aside from messaging you guys about our call and this talk, boom, the phone was face down while we were eating. So little bits by little bits, you know, we're doing our thing. But a couple of like little factoids here. I'm on my computer here that were interesting. It says these are a few things that I was just like, whoa, and I could totally resonate with. But this writer said, mostly, I became aware of how profoundly uncomfortable I am with stillness. For many years, I've used my phone, and every time I had a spare moment in the elevator or a boring meeting, I also listen to podcasts and write emails on the subway. I watch YouTube videos while folding laundry. I even use an app to pretend to meditate. Now, I thought he was going to say when I'm taking a dump, I'm on the phone, but you know what? I'm guilty here.
Just did that this morning.
TMI. But I thought that was so interesting. And it says, so that really struck me because so many people have problems with stillness, right? And there's been times when I go in the elevator, I'm like, wow, everybody's on their phone. They don't want to look at anybody in the eye, or like on the public transportation here in New York or whatever. And it's just like, wow, that's really interesting. And it goes back to many of the conversations we had about, I wonder how many of these people do meditate and do spend a little bit of time in the mornings. I spend most mornings, I do at least have some sort of like, I'm going to sit even for like 10 breaths. Or sometimes, like, I was proud of myself 2 days ago. I did it for 30 minutes. I was like, whoa, I'm late. I got to go to the gym. So, you know, just taking a little bit out of that time to, you know, you and I don't have a problem with stillness. So I think that we're sort of, not that we're better off than this.
No, but it was a practice. It didn't start out easy.
No, and it was hard at first.
Space, right.
Yeah. But isn't it scary that we are, you know, the stillness is what we're born with. So that we are so detached because of all this tech addiction with phone addiction, that has become foreign to us, and having this in our face has become much more of a norm.
Right. Yeah. It's
right.
True.
That's sad. Another thing here that was interesting. It says where you keep your phone is also important. Studies have shown that people who don't charge their phones in their bedrooms are significantly happier than those that do. So I was like, ooh, I've started doing that. Is like leaving my phone in the living room. But, you know, you have the issue with the alarm, and, you know, maybe you just need to get an old school alarm. But I wake up before my alarm clock a lot of times anyway, so it don't matter with that. But I just thought that was interesting, and new words are popping up. Like, psychologists have named this phubbing, or snubbing a person in favor of your phone. Studies have shown that excessive phubbing decreases relationship satisfaction and contributes to feelings of depression and alienation.
Yeah. Yeah. I like what Rich just said. He says, for some, stillness equals aloneness. Yeah. Some people, they fear that.
Yeah.
Like, no, you better, I am never by myself. I am always with myself. Oh. So
that needs to be on a t-shirt.
Okay. Learn to appreciate the stillness. Sometimes that's the only peace you'll have during the day. So yeah,
right.
You gotta find that space. And
yes, I like that. Yes. Stillness equals aloneness. But you know what the thing is? I love being alone. And I don't know if it's because I'm older or, you know, I like myself. Maybe, I don't know. It's just like, you and I have no problem being alone.
I have
like,
no
we're
problem
social
with it.
Butterflies. Yeah,
no.
But we have no problem just like, you know, just chilling. And this other one was really interesting too. It says, and we can close out with this. It says, quote, your life is what you pay attention to. If you want to spend it on video games or Twitter, and this is the quote directly from this New York Times writer's wife. It says, if you want to spend it on video games or Twitter, that's your business, but it should be a conscious choice. And I think that is the word consciousness really kind of popped out, you know, for that.
It is a conscious choice, and you have to realize that everything you do in life is a conscious choice, or should be a conscious choice.
And everything matters. I mean, this conversation matters, you know, and even if there's like one person watching or two people watching, fine. I mean, the interesting thing about this is we set out to just do this so that we could talk every week and share, you know, and talk about what's going on in our lives, maybe share some wisdom, and then like crowdsource wisdom from others. And already people have been privately DMing us talking about this is exactly what they needed to hear to get through this tough time. Somebody sold their house and is moving to another country. I mean, just whatever you can do to, like Marie Kondo, like to spark joy in other people's lives, just do it. Just find that little
random act of kindness.
Yep.
I have a friend in Dallas. She in Dallas. I forget where Marissa is, but she just had her birthday, and her birthday wish for everybody was to have do a random act of kindness for someone else. How simple is that?
Yes. So I want to hear what you guys do next week. I think I do a little bits and bobs naturally a lot, but
I'll try.
Okay.
I can.
Okay, Rich says time you enjoy wasting isn't wasted at all. True that. Love that. And Dee says it's time. I'm grateful for Dee for keeping us on time. Kevin for also helping us get up and going here. Thank you guys for watching. If you like what you see, please share and send us your questions or thoughts on next week's topic. The topics are just derived from basically what you guys email us or what we talk to other people about. So good to see you. Good to see everybody. Bye.
Bye-bye.